and welcome to The Elegant Life, a place where I share all of my wisdom on how to live and manifest with feminine energy, confidence, and ease. And if that interests you, hit the subscribe button. So what I want to do now is get a little personal, okay? Because I want to share with you how I came to live in my feminine energy and how it completely transformed my life. And I want to help you do that for your life too. So hopefully hearing my story will allow you to reflect over your life and see, maybe some openings that you had that you're really grateful for, and maybe hopefully where you can start adding more of feminine energy into your life and experience the deliciousness that can come from doing that as well. Okay. So if I think of how my story went, it was really an opening up to learning what my femininity, my feminine energies were. And one of the biggest experiences that really made an impact on my life was living in France. Living in France was an experience of just a lifetime because that whole culture is built and set up for getting in touch with your senses, which means being connected to your body, which is very feminine. Everything must look beautiful, taste beautiful, smell beautiful, like sound beautiful. It's just incredible being infused into a culture like that. And I started to finally experience the deliciousness of life. And I mean that in every sense of what deliciousness can mean. You feel like you're actually connected and living and interacting and just enjoying and experiencing life at a whole different, new, deep level. And so that is one of the things that France gave me. Another gift that France gave me was falling in love with who I really am. It gave me permission to find out and own my personal signature style. This is something that's so key because when you feel you, like you get dressed and you look in the mirror and it feels like you, like the clothes are comfortable. You look in the mirror and you're like, dang, I just feel so authentically me in these clothes. That helps you walk around with innate confidence. You don't have to try to be confident. You just are because you feel it. When you feel an authenticity of yourself, the inner matches the outer. This combination is what gives you a sense of innate confidence. And this is one of the reasons why finding your signature makeup look, finding your signature style, learning how to dress to really enhance everything that is beautiful and unique about you is part of my Elegant Art to Feminine Confidence program. So it is that important. So that was France. And then if I go to what was the next pinnacle moment? The next one was when I lived in Brazil. Now, Brazil was a place where feminine body is like adored, but not in an aggressive or overtly sexual way. It is freedom of expression. The body is honored. It is natural, which was very similar to France, I have to say. But what opened up for me in Brazil was wearing form-fitting clothing again. Now, if any of you know my background, I do have sexual abuse in my background, and this made me want to literally not show any curve of my body to show that I was feminine in any way. So I dressed very masculine-like, and I also never wore something tight, form-fitting, God forbid, even low, showing a little bit of cleavage. Like, no. But when I went to Brazil, the teachers were coming to school in low-cut things, tight trousers, feminine outfits, and they were just as respected, and they were just as revered, and they were very admired. And I looked at them and thought, well, no one's coming after them. So maybe it doesn't mean that when you wear those things, this has to be the result, right? When you own who you are and you own your feminine energy, and you know you have enough to set boundaries. So there's this energy that you come with. Look, I am a feminine female woman, but I don't accept that. But I'm not scared with being seen. There's a healing that happens through that. And that was something that completely got healed from me. And I owned my sexuality. I gave myself permission to be a female again. And I'll tell you, to be set free and to be who I was created to be, a woman, a female, and let myself be seen again was completely life-changing. Now, fast forward even more. When I was living in Dubai, now this is the most recent healing that I had. In my relationship with my husband, the one thing that I still hadn't healed was this experience of protecting myself from being controlled. I had obviously been hurt from the person that had sexually abused me. And then I got into a marriage when I was very young, where it was emotionally abusive. It became physically abusive. It was not a good thing. And after being hurt after those things, I was just like, you know what? Screw it. No one is ever going to hurt me. No one is ever going to be this. And so my vulnerability was not big at all. I really put walls. I really had big filters on trust. And my husband has had to live with, I've been very healed a lot, but it came a time in Dubai, I think, when this whole thing needed to be healed. And there was a part where we were banging heads. Intimacy that we wanted to have, that we had before, was not happening. Life gets busy. We were both very successful. He was in his successful job. I was in my successful business. We have children. Life was busy. And so this intimacy and this connection was not happening. And I got to the point where I almost said, things are disintegrating. This is not what I want. And I'm not going to put up with this. And I want this for my life, and it's not happening. And, and I was just like, yeah, you see what happens? That was where I was coming from. And that is not healthy, obviously, because walls and filters and controlling my own situation, that's so against femininity. And when I started to say, okay, I know that you cannot change someone and you cannot expect your reality to change unless you go inside and see if there's some healing to be done. And I knew, based on my history, I'm sure there was some healing that needed to be done, even though I had done a lot of healing before. That's a real big point to make. Don't think just because you had one session on something and it was healed and it was good and you're all good that you will never need to revisit that issue. There are levels, there are layers, there are depths to everything, okay? So this was a time when the universe said, shall we get rid of this for good? When I really dived into and learned about living from your feminine, and what does feminine energies mean anyway? And how do you live from your feminine energy? Well, how do you do that in a relationship? How do you do that in your work? How do you do that in your connections and things? And so I started to live from that just on my own to gift myself the healing. And so I started to really focus on, how can I make my outward appearance even more feminine? How can I be more vulnerable in my relationship? How can I ask for what I need without going, well, you're not giving me this? How can I come to it and say, can we chat about something? I'm really feeling like I need this. And that would mean so much to me, because when we have that, I feel so adored and I feel so connected to you and I miss the connection. You see, that's the difference than me coming aggressively and angrily, trying to control the situation, trying to change someone. So this was really big for me and our relationship. And what changed in my relationship happened just naturally. My husband started to be more attentive. We started to have more of that connection and that intimacy again, and that love and that closeness. And I felt like he was adoring me again. And since then, it's just grown and expanded. And anytime there is a little bit of friction, I realize, how could I have come back to doing that or saying that or asking for that in more of a feminine way? And when I do, our whole relationship changes again. So what I want you to realize is you can't change anybody or anything outside of yourself before you change what's going on inside of you. You can start living from your feminine energies and therefore attract amazing friendships into your life that are exactly the kind of connection you want to have. You can deepen the connection you have in your own relationship just by connecting and living from your feminine. And you can definitely, I haven't even talked of this today, but when I started doing business in a way that, with the Elegant Life compared to my past businesses, in a way that just was totally feminine, coming from inspiration, coming from simply service, no agenda, no plan, no numbers. I simply came to this from a total feminine energy. The Elegant Life turned into something that I could never have planned, to have the impact that it's having in the most elegant way, and wouldn't you know it, the most abundant business that I've ever had. So ladies, truly, if you would like to know how to start living from your feminine energies, how to live and express the authentic you so that you have the ability to be naturally vulnerable, you have the ability to be confident, you have the ability to express yourself, to go for things in your life, to ask for what you need, to have a beautiful relationship with your body and friends, then please do check out The Elegant Art of Feminine Confidence in the description box below. And on that note, go out there and try to live this week in an elegant way, in a feminine way, and I'll see you next week.